Hey mushroomlings, it's me, Mayvera. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I will be showing you the process of me decorating and making my room into a cottagecore room. I bought this huge box of, they call it wall grass, but I call it like wall bushes, but basically bought that and put it up on top of my hutch right here. So I hope you enjoy the video and the process of me doing that. And in this video, I want to talk about also the importance of starting. At some point, we all have these ideas, but when does it really come to life? And when do what we really want to manifest actually happen? Starting is probably the hardest part of just getting anything done in the first place. I remember back in the day looking through Instagram and seeing during COVID times people starting to decorate their room, and I was like, wow, these room decor looks so nice with all the gaming lights and all of the really cute decors. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I always wanted to do something like that. But the thing is, in the past 4 years, it has not happened. But until recently, when I decided to start. It all started with me watching these videos on how to put up gaming lights because everyone had the most beautiful gaming setup, especially in the dark. And I was like, I really want something like that too. So then the first thing I did, and this was probably years ago, was buy gaming lights and put them up in my room. But it wasn't until now till I wanted to continue the process of making my room into something even more grand and even into something I love to share with people and love to challenge my creative side. But aside from starting my room decor, I also wanted to start making content again on my gaming channel, but not just on gaming, but lifestyle, design, and share my diaries. And I just never started it until now because my mind went through this cycle of perpetual sabotage from telling myself I'm not good enough. I'm too introverted. I don't have the best ideas, and maybe I'm not the best public speaker. And yes, that self-sabotage really prevents you from taking action on your goals. But eventually, just the pain of seeing other people move forward and make these really cool YouTube channels and share their creative ideas made me feel like I was putting everything on hold. I always thought that I had to watch more videos, educate myself more, or be more mature, or be more ready to actually start the thing I want to start in the first place, whether it was decorating my room or just sharing mental health content and self-development ideas on a YouTube platform. But the real truth is, no matter where you are or how old you are in your life, you'll never feel 100% ready. If you wait until everything is perfect, you'll never start. And that's why I'm here today, sitting in front of this camera and just giving it a go, because I think my dreams are a lot bigger than my fears. So first, let's talk about mindset. So what mindsets do you need to really start something? Well, as I mentioned, perfection keeps you from starting. So the mindset you need to have is to embrace imperfections. The first time you do something, it's not going to be perfect, whether it's on putting out your first video on YouTube or getting a new job or being in a new career. You're totally not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's part of the process, learning and growing from it. So the first few videos you make or the first few hours on the job, you're not really going to be perfect, but you're going to grow, and eventually you're going to be great. You're going to get better. And with that being said, me speaking in front of a camera, I might not have the best posture or the best hand gestures or whatnot, but I'm still going to be putting myself out there and improving my craft over time. And that's part of the process. Look at the biggest YouTubers. Look at their first videos. They're in their bedroom, probably like a really small apartment, in front of their phone camera and not having all these big equipments or fancy setups or anything, but just start with the basics. And over time, they built on and they were able to grow. So let's talk about some barriers that keep us from starting. So I shared with some stories with you all how I self-sabotage. Well, that also comes from overthinking and fear. So first up, overthinking. We all know that feeling. There's so much information and ideas, especially with the internet and social media, that we get stuck in analysis paralysis. We often keep researching things, planning, and thinking, but we never take action on it. I definitely been there. In fact, I've been there for the last few years. You feel like you need all the right equipment, all the right ideas, as I mentioned, or just the right timing, the maturity, the age. But, it's not going to happen until you actually do the thing. If you don't start something anywhere, you keep wondering where I could have been. Second, let's talk about the fear of failure. Oh, that is so common. Oh yeah, I feel it all the time. The fear of people's judgment of you, thinking that you're not good enough and people will see you as a failure. Oh yes, I know this fear. When you give into this fear, you're gonna rob yourself of opportunities to grow and also show the world who you really are. As I mentioned previously, not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. But the people who will stay with you and help empower you to grow. I do want to talk about a story that I really love. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh yes, I love that so much. My favorite character is hands down Zuko. If y'all don't know or haven't watched it, you should definitely watch it. But Zuko is Prince of the Fire Lord. He starts off as a privileged prince, destined for greatness and to inherit the throne of his father, the Fire Lord. But then he goes to a war meeting and he messes up and he speaks out of turn and is banished from his own country until he finds the Avatar, who is said to overthrow the Fire Nation because the Fire Nation had too much power over the other nations and elements. His journey is full of obsessing over catching the Avatar because he thinks that will bring him honor, coming back to his country and taking over as Fire Lord and continuing the reign of the Fire Nation over all the other nations. But his journey of being banished was full of mistakes, full of setbacks, disappointments. He captures the Avatar and loses the Avatar so many times. And at one point, he gave up and he went to live at the Earth Nation as one of their citizens. And he was able to learn so much through his journey. He went through so many hardships, and at the end of the day, he realized he was chasing the wrong goals. He was chasing the wrong goals of wanting to expand the Fire Nation and continue the Fire Nation dominance. But he realizes that by living in all these different kingdoms and seeing the world, that the world needs balance, that the Fire Nation was too strong, and thus he was able to develop his own sense of thinking instead of being brainwashed by the Fire Nation's propaganda. And as a result, he felt a calling to assist the Avatar because the Avatar needed a firebending teacher. But of course, no one in the Fire Nation is going to teach the Avatar because the Avatar is going to overthrow the Fire Nation and that's going to decrease the Fire Nation's power. He developed this sense of justice just through exploring and learning about himself and making so many mistakes that he figured out who he was in the process and was able to find what real honor is. Due to his journey and all the mistakes he made, he was able to grow into something even better than he was before. So I wanted to bring it back to what we were talking about. The thing is, you have to start somewhere. Our first few steps are definitely not going to be perfect, but it is definitely part of the learning process, and you never know where you'll be. You never know until you try it out. You might even end up in a better place than you were before and have different opinions about what you thought you needed in your life before that you actually didn't need after all. Making my room or even starting my room decor journey, was definitely not an easy process. There's so many ways you could decorate your room, but I came up with an idea and I just rolled with it. And in the end, I just tweaked things as I go and began loving the process rather than the outcome. So even if you do mess up, messing up is part of the journey. Whether you're starting a new career or wanting to start a YouTube channel too, don't let fear or overthinking stop you. You'll never know where you'll be unless you give yourself a chance. So give yourself a chance and start today.